नमस्कार दोस्तों और जय हिंद। आप सभी को स्वागत है इन माय चैनल 1971 वॉर बुक सीरीज। तो दोस्तों, I am very saddened to inform you that Major General KM Safiullah, the first Army Chief of Bangladesh, has passed away at 8:45 on the 26th of January 2025. Now, why am I talking about Major General KM Safiullah, Bir Uttom? This was the man who led the first revolt of the 2nd East Bengal Regiment during Operation Searchlight to fight the Pakistani armed forces. मैंने आपको 2nd East Bengal Regiment के बारे में बताया है, of course, in my video on Operation Searchlight in Dhaka, and also on my video recently made on Major Ikram Sehgal, that Pakistani traitor. Of course, Major KM Safiullah कौन था? In 1971, he was the second in command of the 2nd East Bengal Regiment that was present at Joydebpur cantonment just north of Dhaka, very close to Dhaka. This was the unit that was under the 57 Infantry Brigade of the Pakistani Army, and this was the brigade, 57 Brigade, that was tasked to commence Operation Searchlight inside Dhaka city to start the massive campaign of genocide and the barbarism that followed for the next 9 months in Bangladesh, commenced by the Pakistani army. लेकिन 2nd East Bengal Regiment अपने खुद के भाग्य में कुछ different लिखा था. 2nd East Bengal Regiment, comprising mostly of Bengali soldiers and officers, led by Major KM Safiullah, was one of the first units to revolt and defect from the Pakistani armed forces. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman on the 7th of March 1971 had made his very famous speech at Dhaka race course, motivating all the people stand up against the Pakistani forces in his call for independence. 25th March 1971 को भी रात को he gave a speech declaring total independence from Pakistan. That was also the very day when Major KM Safiullah had revolted and defected. Moving out from Joydebpur cantonment. Joydebpur cantonment से 2nd East Bengal Regiment led by Major KM Safiullah moved out, started gathering their scattered companies which were scattered all the way from Joydebpur, Tangail, and eventually at Maimansingh, gathering its forces, trying to defend against the Pakistani counterattacks that kept on coming on them, because Pakistani forces at that time were targeting all the Bengali military units and the paramilitary units to disarm them so that they can't put up a strong resistance. Lekin 2nd East Bengal Regiment led by Major KM Safiullah eventually moved out from Maimansingh, crossed the Meghna River and headed out towards the border with India's Tripura, made it there, met up with Brigadier B.C. Pandey of the Indian Border Security Force, was present at the Teliapara conference जहां पे first sector commanders of the Mukti Bahini का conference हुआ था, to assume charge of the fighting, leading the Mukti Bahini forces to fight the Pakistani military and finally liberate their own motherland, of course with the help of India. लेकिन one of the first people to do this was Major KM Safiullah. After his revolt and defection, the family of Major KM Safiullah, what I can say, faced immense humiliation. Fortunately, his family had managed to escape to India, came as refugees, and they reunited with him, of course. But this happened to a lot of Bengali army officers who were in the Pakistani army and who revolted and defected and joined the Mukti Bahini. Many of their families were humiliated by the Pakistani armed forces unless they escaped from Pakistani captivity. Also, Major KM Safiullah was involved in some direct fighting against the Pakistani forces, and he eventually took command of the Sector 3 area of Mukti Bahini operations. After being a sector commander for some time, he decided to raise his own Mukti Bahini Infantry Brigade, which was known as the S-Force Infantry Brigade. The S-Force Infantry Brigade comprised of the 2nd East Bengal Regiment and the 11th East Bengal Regiment. Now, this brigade took part, 2nd East Bengal Regiment, especially his own battalion, took part in the liberation of Akhaura alongside the Indian Armed Forces of the 311 Mountain Brigade. Also, 2nd Bengal was one of the first units of the Mukti Bahini, Bangladesh Defense Forces, to reach Dhaka. Yes, crossing the Meghna River from Tripura side, reaching Dhaka as well. Under, of course, not at that time under his command, but at that time 2nd Bengal was under the command of Major Moinul Hossain Chaudhry. Anyway, S-Force, when this brigade was raised, Major KM Safiullah was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Now, after the war had ended, from the rank of Major, he rose up to the rank of Major General, assuming charge as the first Army Chief of Bangladesh. He was very close to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as well. And for his gallant services and extremely good leadership in battle, he was awarded the Bir Uttom Gallantry Award by the Bangladesh government in 1973 as the sector commanders of the Bangladesh Defense Forces of the Mukti Bahini Armed Forces. Major General KM Safiullah was the last surviving sector commander. The last surviving Mukti Bahini Brigade commander of 1971 itself. Bengalis all over the world with a Bangladeshi heritage and with a Mukti Bahini lineage mourns the loss of this gallant freedom fighter and this gallant commander. And of course, he was also present in the surrender ceremony on the 16th of December 1971 as Lieutenant Colonel, of course. This is the picture. He was just behind Niazi, as you can see. So this is his book. I think I have to alternate it. Mirror it, I guess. This is his book, and this was presented to me when I visited Bangladesh, Dhaka, in 2022. It was an honor to receive this book. He had a very good relationship with Lieutenant General Jagjit Singh Arora, GOC-in-C of Eastern Command. And he was a very frail man when I saw him, of course. And this man, of course, what happens with age is that people get stuck in the most eventful time of their lives. So when he was talking to me, he was still feeling like as if he was still back in 1971. So he was asking me, how is General Arora? Unfortunately, even he is not alive. Anyway, that was the close relationship the Mukti Bahini High Command had with the Indian Armed Forces in 1971. His book is written as dedicated to the freedom fighters of 1971, and its name is Bangladesh at War, Major General KM Safiullah, Bir Uttom, PSC. So this video is my humble tribute to him, and I hope it reaches his family and friends, and my condolences to his friends and family. People like General Safiullah, as Major and as Lieutenant Colonel, as Brigade Commander, he commanded both the armed forces, the army aspect of the Mukti Bahini, and also the guerrilla aspect, making it as a people's war of Bangladesh, fighting for their independence against Pakistan and its evils. Of course, coordinating exceptionally well with the Indian Armed Forces when the Indian Armed Forces came in for their support, and also to join with the main axis of advance and defeat the Pakistani army, joining hands together with the 2nd Bengal and of course with the entire S-Force Infantry Brigade. As a sector commander, commanding the Mukti Bahini forces and the Bangladesh Defense Forces at the end of the war, this man had served right from day one in the Bangladesh Liberation War, revolting against a superiorly armed Pakistani army. So of course, this was guts and glory in battle. I am talking about a commander of a different army, but hats off to him. The first Bangladesh Army Chief, Major General KM Safiullah, hats off to your service, sir. And a big salute to you from India.